In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly what I would be doing to build my agency to $1 million a month and how myself as an agent, I would be issue paying 40, 50, and $60,000 per month by leveraging the blueprint strategies and thought process that I've developed over the past 5 years and how you can go out and do it too. My name's Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Elite Lab. How 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month. And on this YouTube channel, I try to break down the strategies, tactics, and behaviors of those individuals and what you can go out and do yourself. And we've now helped 4 agency owners scale past $1 million a month. And on this channel, I just try to break down those strategies so you can go out and implement them too. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's hop right into the video. Okay, cool, y'all. So this is a long overdue video. I want to make this video for myself, to be honest with you, because I want to walk through, how I would be breaking things down and think through being an agent and agency owner. So there's really going to be two main concepts, and I'm sure this will break down in more videos eventually, but two main concepts I want to discuss, okay? Or like concepts or breakdowns. I want to talk about being a solo agent and hitting 40K. And then I also want to talk about growing my agency to 1 million a month rapidly. Okay. All right, so there's gonna be a few things I want to talk about as being a solo agent. I'll talk about sales process, lead choice, and why, lead flow, and then referrals, because that's how I would grow. And then as far as the agency, I would go to social media, marketing, pay ads, hiring staff. So this is gonna be admin slash contracting. This is gonna be ads team. This is gonna be CRM management. This is gonna be blueprint for sales. And then I'm going to break down the level strategy for growth in internal lead flow, internal consumption, hiring, blueprint, and standard. So, webinar style. Cool. So I'm going to go through a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff high level. For those that are watching, if you want me to break down more of these, I also can make this into a series. But let's just hop right in and let's go through one thing at a time. All right. So I want to talk about being a solo agent hitting 40K. Okay. So let me start off with the sales process. Okay. I would personally go back and probably start with, I'm going to talk about what I do, and then I'm going to talk about what I would do if I didn't have the experience I had. So regardless, I would start with age leads. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about more high level process. I'm not going to get into the granular weeds of these things. If you want me to, I can go in more depth because I have tons of videos, but I want to talk about how I'll be breaking down each step. Okay. Because I personally think this is cool. And, when my business hits $1 million a month, this has been a thought of mine to get back into the industry. I don't know if I will. I say I will, but I don't know. But these are the strategies and tactics that I would be implementing. Okay. So I'd come up with a sales process. Now, what do I mean by sales process? I would ask myself, what is my end goal? I start with the end in mind. All right. So if my goal is to get to $1 million a month, there's a few ways you could do it. Okay. Sales process one can be, we're going to be a high volume team. And you have to outline what type of agency you want to build. Now you can throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and let it stick. That's fine. That's just not what I would do, me personally. All right. I would figure out, okay, what type of agency I want to build, because what I'm going to be doing that's a little bit different is once we get into paid advertising, marketing, I'm going to be attracting a certain type of person. Now, you can throw stuff at the wall and you can attract a certain type of person, but attracting the wrong type of person without attracting the wrong person subconsciously over time, like let's say you're trying to look for young people who are in the cars, driving lifestyle. I think that's good. But as you scale, especially if you're going to do what I'm going to be doing, which is going to be like paid traffic, you're going to have a lot of different leads coming in and clients, you could bring in the wrong people. Now, I'm not saying you're not, but you will, but you could. I personally don't want to do that. So my sales process would be one agent at a time, qualified sales process. And by one agent at a time, I just mean we can bring in a lot of people, but we're trying to get people to hit 30, 40K. That's what I want. Because if an agent is making 10, 15, 20K, they're not really doing enough to pay their bills. They're like 3 chargebacks away and some roll-up debt from being absolutely cooked. Right? We need them to make 30, 40, 50K to actually do something. And if they're not making that, then we're not really putting them in the best position. And then now right, they're gonna probably end up going backwards rather than forward. That's why so many people churn out. So I need to make sure my people are making money. But that starts with my sales process. What is my sales process going to be? Well, it's going to be high leverage. Okay. High leverage sales process. Okay. And the reason why it's going to be high leverage is because I want to emphasize ROI, cost to acquire client, and cost per booked appointment. I want to actually emphasize what are called KPIs. All right. Now, I would start somebody off on aged leads. Okay. The reason I would start them off on aged leads, and that's not lead choice. This is just talking about sales process. I start them off on aged leads, then I'd move them to fresh, right? And then from there, they would continue to build, and then I move them on to recruiting, which we will talk about. Okay. So that's number one. My sales process is going to be a high leverage. So I'm looking for really good sales reps who want to get their teeth kicked in for the first month, then move to more advanced strategy. So I'm going to walk them through an entire process. Okay, you're going to come in, you're going to buy this many leads. You're going to buy this many leads this many times a week. You're going to make this many dials. You're going to have this many booked appointments. You have this many closes. Okay, that's the goal. These are the KPIs we're looking for. You're going to do that for a month. Once you get 10 grand, you're going to take every single penny and reinvest it back into fresh leads. You're going to take it. You're going to figure out exactly how much you need to make, right? And then from there, you're going to set aside a dedicated salary, which we'll go through. That's what the admin team is going to do. They're going to help you set aside a dedicated salary that you're going to pay yourself, something to just live on for the first 6 months. We want you to eat dirt for the first 6 months, not forever, for the first 6 months. Every other dollar you get is going back into leads and marketing, right? And ads. Because at the end of the day, we want you to be able to get a solid return consistently and gain the momentum to never have to look back. Okay. That's my sales. That's my really full process, but that's my sales process. I'm going for like I can go get anybody, but the standard is the standard. I'm not going to subject to say, oh, you have to be an athlete. Oh, you have to be this. No, no, no. I'm going to call to masses. But in order to get qualified to work with us, you need to hit this criteria. And if you don't, that's fine. Maybe we'll do some other strategies, or we won't put you on leads. You can work friends and family, right? And it doesn't matter what company I'm at. If they work friends and family or not, I'm still going to work friends and family. And I'll explain that here in a second. Second thing, this is me being a solo agent, right? I would be looking at this. Now, I'm looking at it from a perspective of want to build an agent eventually. So I have to start with myself in mind. I have to lay the blueprint. I can't do stuff sporadically myself and then not have a blueprint or SOP, standard operating procedures, to hand down to my team. Okay. Lead choice and why I would choose that. Now, me personally, here's what I would do. I would go veteran leads. This is right now. This could change. All right. And mortgage. Now, in a perfect world, you would have had me a year ago just say mortgage, but I've learned a lot about the veteran leads, and I think that they're a really good entry point. So I would go veteran leads within that first month, and then I would still run those veteran leads, transition to fresher veteran leads into month 2, and then start working on age mortgage. So I'm doing like a ping pong. So I'm going 30 days of aged veterans, get my ROI up, get past 10K, take everything more than that, start reinvesting in a fresh. Yeah, this is the easiest thing to do, right? Like, just want to throw a side caveat. I think people don't look at these numbers, okay? So let's say for 4 weeks, you run age leads. It doesn't even matter, okay? And let's say you spend, $600 a week on age leads. So that equals $2,400 a month. And then let's just say from that, you bring in, let's say 15K in profit, okay? So we're just going to go net profit. So that means you literally made 13K in, 15K in gross profit. Let's just say 13K in net profit. All right. Dude, what I would do is say, what's my salary going to be? And then what you do is you just reverse engineer. So if you say, what is your salary going to be? Keep it super simple. All right, I want to pay myself $1,500 a week. It's like, bro, if you can live off $4K a month, if that can cover your rent, your bill, especially if you're single, or if you're married, maybe you move it up a little bit, but you don't need crazy buku bread. So what does that mean? You've got an extra $9,000 to put away for leads. So what I would do is take that 9K, okay? Say $9,000 for leads, chargebacks. Okay, I'm the type of bull. Let me just take 30% off the top. So 30% of that is 3K. Okay, so 3K for chargebacks. Guess what? Now I got 6,000 for leads. Oh my goodness. I can still spend $2,400, get the same lead flow, and do the same thing, right? So let's say I said just 2.5 to make it simple. So now it's 4K basically to 3.5K left for other leads. This is after you pay aged lead flow. Now, what I would be doing is I can either go into aged or go to fresh or stick on aged and start buying fresh complement. Why? Because the worst case scenario is this 3.5K is to play for. So, dude, I'm going to go out and try different lead companies, spend my money with these other marketing organizations, try this lead vendor out, that lead vendor out, try this company. Oh, it's 3,500 to start, it's 10K a month. Like, dude, put away 2 or 3 months. Dude, if you're trying to play the long game, like, bro, you have to try things. You have to be willing to invest. If you're not willing to invest, you're not willing to risk it, you are not going to grow. I think the biggest lesson I've learned since retiring from football is one thing, bro, you have got to take risks. Like calculated risk, but you have to take risks. You not taking risk is stopping you from getting to. I think about like, so this month, I was using myself, and I'm gonna get back to what I was saying, but this is just my channel, so I like saying what I want to say. So I'm just gonna say it. This month, I have taken a really big risk. I put a lot of money back into our leads for our clients. Like I spent way more money to, relatively speaking. Like I think I spent an extra $25,000, if not more, maybe 30K, just on trying things out. Like wouldn't it just be like, yo, let me try this creative angle, this for all lead types, mortgage, IUL, veteran, annuity. I'm just trying things out. Why? Because I'm not really scared anymore. Like I've said this before, like I'm not afraid to go broke. I'm not afraid to lose it all. Well, I know I'm not going to by God's grace, but because I've been there and I also have a license. So what that means is in the worst case scenario, something does happen, bro. I can go out and write 30, 40, 50, 60K. I know I can. And I know for a fact, if I was writing 30K and I was playing football, like training to go to the league, I know I can write 50, 60K. And if that could just get me back on my feet to keep reinvesting in ads on things that I know you can't take what I have up here away, then I know I'm getting back. So what does that mean? I'm willing to take risks because I've lost it. Like when you get hurt in sports, you kind of don't really play scared anymore because you've been hurt. When you've never been hurt, you're like, oh my goodness, I've never been hurt. It's like, bro, when you tore your ACL, I tore my pec, I've torn my ab, I've been hurt, I've broken bones. So it's like, I know what pain feels like. And then I've lost money, I've not had money. So when you're down bad and not you have something, you're not afraid. And like one of my, I mean, we'll see if he's gonna be a mentor. Well, guy, his name's Jeremy Hayes, fire dude. He talks about this all the time. He's like, you got to be willing to have your like, throwaway money for average, but for as a life insurance agent, you got to have that too. Like I have it. Mine was 30K. I'm not saying yours is 30, but like people are so scared to use it. It's like, bro, you're not going to use all that money anyways. And like right now, even if you're not, unless you're completely retired, bro, you're going to make the money back. Like you can't go with all this money. That's the thing is like, there's no point in having all the money if you can't fit. And if your greater purpose is actually to make more money or to help other people grow or to build something that's for the future, if you don't try, you won't know. There's only so many questions you can ask, even with mentors. Like I ask my mentor all the time, and a lot of times he's like, okay, what do the numbers say? What are you doing? Okay, you're not doing that. Cool. Like you need to try it. We can't sit here and be like, oh, well, maybe. It's like, dude, spend the money and like you'll get it back. Stop being scared. Like you will get the money back. And that's the problem is that a lot of the reason why a lot of people just unfortunately don't find success in the life insurance space is yes, chargeback stuff like that. But bro, they're just scared. Like when they get money, stop doing the things that got them the money. So that would make no sense. Like I have some money. Why not spend it to try to figure out what's going to help me make more money? I need to figure out what style is going to work, what this, what that. If I don't know those things, then it really doesn't make a difference. But I have to try. I have to actually put the effort in to be able to create that. If I cannot do that, then what difference does it make? It makes zero difference. It does not matter. So my goal is to figure out how can I invest. So if you're an agent in this situation, I'm gonna teach all of my agents this. Dude, you just made this much money. You need to put away 3 to 5K. Right. I think about the cool thing about life insurance that I love, and this is what I'll also be focusing on. I didn't put it in here, but this will come in terms of like growing, right? Hiring staff. This is really just like internal coaching, man. We always talk about sales, which is cool, but we need to talk about coaching, like, bro, money management, lifestyle, reinvesting. Like, you need to have other things because essentially, this is like mentorship. All right, so let me go back to this because I can go on a tangent on this all day, but like, you have to know how to reinvest your money. You have $3,500 left. Like, bro, go buy some leads and figure it out. Try a new lead vendor. And don't do it for, I always say this, don't do it for a week or 2 weeks. Just, dude, how much is it? Okay, let me just do it for the month so I can see what the results are. They're so attracted. Like, dude, it's funny as I run my company, but I'm like, dude, I think some of these other people are kind of dope. Like, people try to trash some of these other companies, my bro. I think some of these other guys in the space, first of all, I love competition, but I also love like giving people kudos, like giving them their flowers. I think it's so much like hate in the life insurance space. And it's weird because it's like, bro, we're all trying to win. Like there's a ton of other guys that are doing more than me right now. Now, do I think I'll pass them? Yes, but it's not like I'm gonna pass them because they're not good. I'm just a competitor, bro. Like, so for me, it's always been cool. So I feel like if you're an agent, bro, try stuff out, bro. Like give us a try. If we're not your cup of tea, by all means, go somewhere else and make money. I'm not tripping. You want to know how I know this? I have a guy. He does not even buy my leads. He works for I don't have an agency, but he works for an agency. He buys a competitor's leads. The dude texts me, didn't buy my leads. We hopped on a 30-minute call. I gave him mad game for free. He went out and wrote his first 40K month. Should count him towards our, 550 basically. But like he just went out and implemented the things that I mentioned in these videos and on our one call. And he went out and executed and he made money. And I don't even get paid from that. He doesn't even buy my leads. I get no actual return on it. Why? Because I actually love the game, bro. I record these videos every day because I genuinely love the game. I want people to make money. So therefore, if they make money, everybody wins. If they buy my leads, that would be great. I would really appreciate it, but you don't have to. I promise you. I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm still going to give you that sauce. I'm still going to do this completely for free. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Like respectfully, me and my team, not just me, my team, we give game away more than some people's uplines. They're like, dude, we come to you more than we come to our upline. Like, and we don't even get no overrides. You feel me? So it's like, I'm saying all that to say this, you have to focus on coaching. And y'all know me, I go on a tangent, but I just wanted to go there. Okay. I just speed this up a little bit because I'm not trying to have this. This could be like a 3-hour long video and you guys didn't ask for that. So cool. So I'd go veterans to start. I'd follow this blueprint. And then I'd take that 3,500 and I would invest that into fresh veterans. And then once I started going from 15K to like 30 or 40K, I'd take the remaining amount that I have again, and I'd invest that into age mortgage leads. And then I'd go from age to fresh. And then I'd just do fresh veterans and fresh mortgage. That's my process. It'd always be aged, then aged and fresh, take the 3,500, do the same thing. Now I have aged and fresh running. Then I take the remaining or more, and then I do aged. I take out another one. And I'm just learning, right? And I'm also buying like a dialer, systems in between there, etc. Okay. Lead flow. I already went through that. That's what that was. Now, referrals. Here's the thing. This is where I know I would crush it. Bro, even in my business, I get my best clients from referrals. Warm network. I find the best agents and agency owners. And then they partner me up with other good agents and agency owners. I'm not going to infinitely grow by running paid ads and getting cold traffic. I'm sorry, there's just not as many good people in the space that are available. A lot of the good people, they take a lot of things to trust. That's why I'm making YouTube videos like this so we can find better qualified clients like yourself who's potentially watching this, who may want to work with us. And if you don't, you watch my content for the next. I'm never going to stop doing this. I have no desire to stop posting on YouTube because I know that this is a long game and I'm willing to play the game as long as necessary because I understand what comes from it. I've gotten a few clients from YouTube. They are the best clients in the world. No disrespect to those people who've come to Facebook and Instagram, but if you are a YouTube client or you are a referral, you tend to be the best client. You tend to have the longest ROI. Now, what does that mean for you as an agent? That means that if you're closing a deal from a lead that you pay for and you find somebody that you actually close and actually stick on the books, why in the world would you just say, I'm going to go and get the next person? Why would you not say, John, perfect, man, we got you taken care of today. So in order for me to do that, I know you gave me 2 beneficiaries. So next thing I'm going to have you do is go to grab pen and paper. Cool. So you got my number down. Here's what I need you to do. Pull out your phone. All right. I'm going to have you put a group message together with me and them. Okay. And once you get that set up, let me know. I'm going to tell you exactly what to say. And the reason is I want to make sure that they know what your policy does, when it's in place, who to call, etc. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. You do that. You're going to close them. Here's why I would do that. Because once I know my numbers, that's why I go on numbers. Sorry for screaming, but so many people don't know their numbers. I have whole videos on understanding your numbers, breaking down your numbers, what they need to be, why you need to track them, how they help. Once you know your numbers, let's say that let's go simple. Let's say your cost to acquire a client is $400. Some people's like, oh my goodness, that's super high. I don't really care, right? Let's say your cost collected per sale is $1,800. Okay. So you're getting $1,800 deposited into your account on average from your sales for spending $400 or a mortgage or something. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Let's say that your LTV is whatever. Let's say it is only 1,800 because they're not like paying you month to month. Okay. Which in life insurance, you'd have to take your monthly premiums, multiply that times the average number of months that people stick on without falling off. Okay. So, anyways, let's just say that LTV is 1,800 to keep it simple, but you can increase it. So if you can take every client that you get, and let's say that you can close one more policy on average, and that extra policy is an extra, $1,000. Theoretically, for every $400 you put in, you get $2,800 back in return, right? Because that's the average. Collected per sale now goes from 1,000 to 2,800 because you theoretically would count this in here because the LTV is a little relative to the thing. But let's just say you do that. So now the average collected per sale is actually 1,800 plus $1,000 referral. That's typically what you're doing. So you're basically collecting $2,800 off of a $400 investment. Do you understand what that means? That is literally a 6x return. 6x. Now, the $400 cost to acquire client life insurance is stupid high. Let's just say that you could get that number to be half. So it's $200. Now you're looking at a 12x ROI off of leads plus referrals. Now, let's just say you get good and you take that referral from 1,800 to 1,000, which referral low key could be higher, but let's just say now it's 1,800. So 1,800 plus 1,800, right? So now you're going to have 3,600. Okay. Now you're looking at a $200 cost to acquire a client, $3,600 return. So now we start doing crazy numbers. 12, 24, 36. That's a 22, 24x return. Or whatever that is. That might not be 24x. Whatever. You guys get the point. What I'm trying to say is, once you figure out those numbers, referrals are game changing. Game changing. Because what does that now allow you to do? Be more aggressive on ads to get better clients, to get rid of less qualified clients. For example, I'm just using myself. I don't give a dang for what it costs me to get a client sometimes because I know that my clients stick with me for years. So I'm playing a different game so I can outbid people. That's what people say, that the person who spends the most to acquire a client typically wins. Who can spend the most to acquire a client will win. Because once you know your numbers, you're willing to outspend the competition because you know that you will get a better, you know your numbers on the back end. So you can sometimes go into the negative or break even, and it doesn't matter because you make more as time goes on. It's a compounding effect. The unfortunate thing is that because you don't know your numbers, you can't do this. So I'm already crushing it off of 40K, off of probably a lead spend that's less. I'm closing better clients. I have less likelihood to charge back. I'm only closing quality clients. Because, dude, if your cost to acquire a client is $200, and let's say you run a $50 a day ad campaign, that's only 2 closes a week. Basically. So if you're closing 2 policies a week, they're actually qualified appointments. They're not going to charge back. Then now you have all sticky business, and you're writing, let's say, 2,800. That's like an easy 10K. If you bump that up, you'll go to 20, then you go 30, and like you can spend more. But I mean, if you start actually crushing it, and you start spending $1,000 a week, that's 4K a month. It's like if you spend 4K and you're getting your cost to acquire a client is $200. So, whatever, do the math on how many policies you're getting, 2,800 times the cost to acquire a client. You just start doing the math. You're like, oh, snap. Like, you start easily getting 40, 50, 60K, like clockwork, without really having to overthink anything. All right. So that's an individual agent. This is all I will be focusing on. You're going to get to 40K like nothing. But here's the thing. If you don't document it and have a process, it's going to be really hard for you to grow. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time here because this is where you could really go in depth, but I'll go high level. Number 1, social media marketing. That's organic. Okay. And then paid ads. Social media marketing is I would be posting like crazy. My wins, my agent wins, me getting new people contracted, what's going on in the process, where I'm at, how much money I'm making, what other people could do, telling them about the business, the highs, the lows, DMing people every day, every possible thing I can do. Second thing is paid ads. All right. So I've been running paid ads to do with, so at GFI, they do this thing called internal consumption. Right. Basically just means that in order for you to come work with us, you need to buy a policy. Now, the reason they do that is because they make money off of that, but I would do it to liquidate the ad spend, right? Because then it's pure profit if they do or don't. But at least now I broke even for bringing people in. So let's say I bring someone in, I'm like, hey, in order to work with me, one of the things you have to do is you have to get a policy. Right? The reason you have to get a policy is because blah, 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 blah. Right. And then from there, you can grow. Now, does that always work? No, but it's worth at least throwing in there so that way you can have it. Because you could be spending a lot on ads and not get a return, especially if they're unlicensed. They come over, then it's 2-3 months. And let's say they make money and it's charged back. So you end up being in the red. You gotta know your numbers. It may not even be worth it. But if you do it right, I think it can be extremely lucrative, especially if you do internal consumption. Number 2, hiring blueprint. Now, for me, I'd be sending people to a standard VSL, a basic interview, just asking them like the most simple questions. Because I'm only looking for a few things. Like, do you work hard? How do you overcome obstacles? If things get tough, what are you going to do? What are your goals? Where are you at? Cool. Here's an opportunity. Have this done by this day. If they don't do it, they just show me everything. I need an action taker. Hey, finish this. Have this class done. It's Tuesday. I need to have the test scheduled and complete by next Thursday at the latest, right? That's literally 10 days, 9 days, whatever. If they're like, oh no, they start making excuses, it's like, dude, I'm good. I don't need you. I already have my money. It's like, if you want to come work with me, cool, right? If I was running ads and trying to get people, you could also do like a webinar, a VSL. These are just some examples. I personally would just be doing that simple interview or have my team do a simple interview where like, I'm not here to waste time. Like, dude, you're either going to do it or not. That's how I treat my leads. That's how I treat everybody because at the end of the day, all the other stuff is fluffy and it really doesn't matter. What matters is, are you going to come in and do the work? Yes or no? Because all that stuff, you won't be successful. And then I'll end up spending all this time and you won't work anyways. Now, staff, make sure you have an admin and contracting. And their whole job would be not only get them contract, but explain to them, like, this is what we do here. This is how we move. Does this fit your style? If it doesn't, sorry, this isn't good for you. If it does, come on in. I'd be hiring an ads team. So I'd find somebody, flat retainer, probably find the best people I could in the business, start investing in that, right? Let's say part of this is that 3,500 that I get back from more leads, or I take that other 2,400, so 3,500 plus 2,400. Let's say I'm take 3K to spring team, and then that leaves me with basically another 3K for ad spend, right? And then as I grow, if I'm spending $3,000 on ads, I should be getting way more than 15K. That's kind of how it should work. That's only a 5x return. That's not that good. So that's how I would be looking at ads. CRM management, I'd be building my own, go high level, or I'd use like Ringy or something, just keep it super simple. And then I would have coaching. And by coaching, I don't mean like having a coach come in, but I would be emphasizing talking about specific topics every day of the week and breaking things down and giving people a system. Because the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people that are becoming life insurance agents, they've never been business owners and they don't really know a lot about business in general. So like I, even for example, as an agent, I was not paying myself a salary. I had an LLC, but like I was literally selling myself bread. Like it was very unorganized. I was taking money from the account. I had no structure at all. Like no, it was like, dude, what are we doing? Right? You have to have a blueprint sales. So I'd have a whole process for like my one call closes, my booked calls, what leads that we do for what, why we run these leads, pros and cons, and then high value strategy for growth. What this would be is I would be leveraging all the leads I had to create age leads. I would not be having my team buy age leads. That makes no sense to me. I'll just buy more leads and all the leads that don't close, just pass them up. Because if I'm getting overrides and here's the thing. People, well, maybe it's because I have a business, so I think differently. I need to live off the overrides. I should live off the income that I make for myself. The overrides are just passive. And I take the money from overrides and help them grow. Because eventually, if I do it right and I keep spending on my people and they keep making money or spending on more leads and I'm giving my own team leads for free and they don't have to go to an outside source, and I'm building or I'm hiring a team, and slowly but surely I'm going to lower that rate and then they're going to start getting success and then I'm going to stop feeding them because they're going to be able to feed themselves, and then eventually I'm going to get my money back, and eventually we're going to keep growing. We're going to create a culture, and now what was kind of feeling like it was being dished out downward is now being pulled upwards, right, directly into me. And that's exactly how I break it down. So I'm right at 30 minutes. I appreciate it, y'all. I hope this video was helpful. But this is really what I would do. I would focus on these areas, and I can go in more depth if you need me to, but I would literally just focus on these areas. That's it. As long as these areas are locked in and checked off, I'd be good, right? Specifically this part, because this is really where you start. If you can nail this down for yourself, you just have to document it, and you do the same thing for others, right? And then you just grow. You just push and grow. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. If you're interested in leads, you can go to leadlabcrm.com. We have $2.50 leads up to $55 leads. Minimum investment to work with us is $250 across the board. You don't have $250, we're just not a good fit. I'm being honest. Like, I don't even know who's a good fit for you, to be honest with you. You don't have $250 in your life insurance agent. This is not the right industry for you. We have premium intent leads, high yards, you can go to the website. If you're an agency owner, we can book a call, discuss our Apex. I'm just letting you know though that if you do that, you won't like you're not you have to buy our leads first. So like you're not just gonna be able to hop into that. Discontinue that. There's a progression, there's a reason why. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.